So on a Sunday, I'm left with no other topics to speak about other than my good old favorite politics and the most recurring of any given subject that I'll discuss. But when I was sitting here and just kind of thinking about what I wanted to speak on or to talk about or go into, my mind deviated to a sector of my brain that I think most people have, where you just kind of try to see things within the near future and beyond that. So next week, next year, next decade, that kind of forward vision. And I thought a lot about how over the course of last year's presidential campaign, in particular during the primary, I really gained a level of disdain for the average um, politician and their frame of work, if that makes any sense. So I kind of moved into this position now where when I look at someone such as Rubio or who's another example, Merkley or Kane or most anyway, I don't really see an individual with whom I could say, oh yeah, that's a guy that I definitely trust, and I believe he'll do this. I just see this corporate shell of a candidate. I don't really see a person when this person speaks. I know they're a person. I know they, have family and all of that, which is why I was so against what happened to Scalise last month. But I don't see them in the way that I would see them were I not familiar with the corporations that they take bribes from to do their bidding in either the Senate or as governor. Um, but not to really derail off topic, but I wanted to just kind of hypothesize this idea, which is whether or not people will push toward my viewpoint in terms of these average type politicians. And I'm having a hard time really being in either direction. I'm leaning toward no, because I look back at a number of the individuals with whom I know in my own life online, and they talk about, oh, Obama did this, and Clinton did this, and he was so cool, and it's as though they can't comprehend that there's this wing that exists that crosses party lines. You have Democrats that take money and Republicans that take money, and they always seem to not think of it as a big deal or not know about it. And I just don't think, even if, 10, 20, 30 years pass, these same individuals are going to go out and read it themselves, that someone's going to have to bring it to them. I'm not saying it's necessarily wrong for it to happen that way, because I didn't know about all these corporate ties. I was only, well, not only, but I was 10 when uh, Obama was elected, so I didn't really give much consideration to the donors and various people he received his funds from. But what's scary to me is that I've seen people who are 20, 30, 40, and they still talk about these politicians like a McConnell, like a McCaskill, like a Schumer, as though they're actual leaders of change. And it reminds me of when Harris was running for her Senate seat, and she got, no, she was running for re-election as Attorney General, and one of these other Congress individuals, or she had some political position, said that she was a great elected leader in her endorsement of her. I thought to myself, what has she done throughout the entire her whole reign as Attorney General within the state of California to lead anybody? If I remember correctly, Mnuchin had some scandal going on out here, and her private investigators wanted her to pursue that, and she told them to hide behind the hills and opt not to. So it's that kind of thing I'm speaking about, where I know that these people a lot of times either don't believe what they're actually talking about, or that even if they do, they're still doing something for the bidding of another. They're talking about single payer healthcare now, and some are asking, oh, well, why didn't Obama pass it back when the Democrats had control of the House and the Senate before the 2010 midterm or January of 2011? And it's not because it would take too long, to get this out. It's the fact that he was paid off by these companies to not do so. Those are the kind of things that I really don't see people trying to know about. And I didn't go out and look for any of that. It comes to me. I watch a video, someone mentions it, you go look it up, it's true. And it makes me kind of bothered that we're going to keep living in this era, at least for the next couple of years, where people just keep buying all of this nonsense about, I'm here to stand up for the average politician. I can't stand that, knowing it's going to keep festering. And it's not going to be because everyone's dumb. It's going to be because the fact that a lot of people don't have the time to go and look at this stuff in depth, and a lot of the people who do have the time to look in depth don't even bother with any local election. There's a gubernatorial election in California. Technically, right now, it's going to take place next year, but I haven't seen TYT, which is based in California, say anything about it. I haven't seen CBS or the local news or anything. It's completely ignored. And what happens when you do that is you allow the corporatists and the people who can run because they have the most paper to easily get in there with no competition, because most people aren't paying attention to the few that do challenge them, that do actually try to oppose their agenda to assist whatever large company is in power over here or in any other state. And that's so, it gets to be, I don't get personally depressed over, but it doesn't make me happy to see that. And then you have these other people who will shut their minds off to it, where you try to tell them about something and they just, completely phase it out. I remember distinctively there was a video where somebody was speaking about some politician. I can't remember who it was, but guy walked out of the room. And they always do this thing where they almost try to make it sound as though it's just slander, but if you have some reliable source that's saying this person received this many dollars from here, I don't really see how that's not information you would want to know. Don't you want to know the past of the person you're voting for? Apparently not. And I've seen that in real life so many times, not walking out, but just kind of turning a blind eye to criticism of that, especially when it's well-founded. It bothers me that this is the era that we're living in, where people either don't care to go and look stuff up, or they don't care when you tell them about it. And it's going to have disturbing results, rather, within the next couple of years, as you see these, just look at whatever state you're in. What can you say that the governor has done for you? What can you say that the senators have done for you? I don't see anything. I just see these senators on the Democratic side talking about Russia. And, they're going to be supposedly remembered as helping out, men and women everywhere, and assisting and trying to stop the evil Trump. And that's disturbing to me, because that's not political courage. They're not taking a stand on anything. They're doing exactly what their party wants them to do. And I'm not even saying that's bad in this case, because those laws were terrible. But when they're not doing that, they're just talking about Russia. Why would I care about another country when I have to put food on the table? But these are the kind of things I'm talking about, where people are not going to look at it that way if they ever do, for at least a decade or longer, because we're just not oiled up to do that, unfortunately. So thank you for watching, and have a good day.